As a leader, you are always being watched. It's true. It's also not intended to be creepy. Those around us take note not only of what we say and listen for, but our habits, our behaviours, our decisions, our energy, our emotions, our very presence. They take cues from us on what is acceptable and unacceptable, what will garner approval or criticism, what will bring success and what will cause censure. Collectively, through these interactions, we influence our team and our organisation's culture. We set the tone. So, welcome back. This is the 7th and the penultimate in this series of videos looking at the ideas within Do Sweat the Small Stuff. Today, we're going to talk about the non-verbal elements of our micro-interactions. As is the pattern throughout the book, the early part helps you hold up a mirror to your own non-verbal interactions to understand the impact you're having. We look at various elements of this. The first is congruence. That is, whether there is congruence between what you say and what you do, between what you say is important and the decisions you make, between the boundaries you set and the behaviours you yourself then demonstrate. Because let's be clear, if there's incongruence, the old adage that says actions speak louder than words usually holds true here. There's a deeper level around congruence as well. Say, for example, you're someone who says your door, whether real or virtual, is always open, that you always want your team to feel they can come and talk to you. Yet, you constantly talk about how much you have to do and how busy you are. Your calendar is always completely full and overbooked, and you're always rushing from one online meeting to the next. What message are you really sending? The chances are you're in fact training those around you to leave you alone, that you're just too busy. The next layer in the mix is emotions. Like yawns, emotions can be contagious. Now that's great when that's a positive emotion and the team feels energised. It's more challenging when you're in a bit of a bad mood, whether or not that's anything to do with work. And the whole team not only knows that, but picks up on it. To be clear, this is an issue even when we're remote working. Because while the negative emotional contagion, as it's known, is a bit less likely to happen, in the absence of information about the mood our boss is in, we tend to assume the worst and behave accordingly. The deepest layer in this is our presence. Are we energising or energy sapping? Is our presence loud or quiet? Are we encouraging or critical? This goes beyond the words someone says, beyond their emotional state. It's the very presence we feel when someone walks into the room. It can be very hard to be aware of our own presence, so this is a great place to ask for feedback. The next question is, what do we do with all this awareness? Once we've understood these different elements of how we show up, what next? Well, the good news is you can start to harness the power of being watched for good. You can set the tone. If you can build awareness of what you tolerate, encourage, avoid, or expect, you can start to choose those intentionally and model the behaviour that you wish to see. Equally, the more you can draw clear boundaries around unhelpful behaviour, apologising if you make a mistake yourself, and taking clear action when you see it in others, the more clarity you bring to the culture and the behaviours you wish to see in your team. If you're aware of your being and presence, you can manage that. You can be responsible for your emotions. You can understand the power dynamics that may be at play and make choices about when to step back to allow space and when to step in and draw a line. Through all of this, an essential component is to stay curious and try and stay in a mindset of experimentation. You may be making tweaks and changes to how you show up, when you speak, what you do with your facial expressions, your habits, behaviours, and so on. Sometimes these changes may work as you intend. At other times, they may have a different impact. That's fine. Even the times that it doesn't work provide an opportunity to learn. Take the learning, iterate, and continue to harness the power of being watched to set a really positive tone and culture for your team and your organisation through each one of your micro interactions. So that's an overview of some of the things the book looks at around the non-verbal aspects of your micro interactions. In the next, final video in this series, we'll look at how we start to integrate this. What can you do with all of this information and awareness? How can you translate it into practical action? And what are some of the core things you need to bear in mind as you start to do that? I'll see you on the next one.